G'day guys, and welcome back to SimWorld episode 30. We've got a fair bit to talk about today. I'll let people get in. We have started a few minutes early. But today we're going to be talking about GS Pro with its course designers. So we have just had an announcement and it caused a bit of drama. Greg McDonald has announced that he's stepping away from building courses on GS Pro. So we're going to be talking about that. We've had a few people leave GS Pro and a few people that have climbed to like the top, the pinnacle. We had the great Bangini, Matt. He was an incredible designer and really looking on the up. And he got poached by TrackMan. Greg has announced he's not going to be building courses on GS Pro, but we don't know where he's going. But he has talked about using Unity. No, not using Unity, using Unreal Engine. So yeah, we've got to talk about that. That caused a lot of debate, let's say, a lot of healthy debate on the Joe Lagowski Golf Facebook page. Next, I'm going to talk about the league. So we've got to talk about the league. It's exciting. We've got sponsors confirmed, and it's starting to really shape up now. So it's going to be a really good final event. So make sure you're part of the league. And then I'm going to be talking about VTrack and the new AI coaching preview that we've seen from the PGA show. There's a PGA website essentially, and you can go on there and you can see exactly what the companies are going to announce or they're planning to announce. And VTrack had a couple of pictures up there that, I mean, it showed it all off. We've got, yeah, AI coaching coming to the VTrack. So after this today, or probably potentially Tuesday, Wednesday, the Pro Tee will be coming down. I'll be putting the VTrack up. I'll be doing a comparison video as well, what you get from both devices. So I've had a lot of questions. Should I get the Pro Tee? Should I get the VTrack? And I'm going to do a video explaining the two launch monitors and what you might get over the other one. But yeah, and then just the normal Q&A. So it's good to see all the members jumping in. We did have a few early comments by Torstein, I think that's how you say it. He's saying his son and his friend are trying to hit flop shots, and it takes me back to when I was a kid, and we used to go to the driving range and we used to go to the chipping green and spend hours just chipping and just hitting flop shots and trying to hit them as high as we could. And that's why I've got such a bad wrist angle now. Like my wrist angles in my golf swing are influenced from those days, because when you hit a flop shot, it's not good for driver, so be careful if you practice this a lot. But when you hit a lot of flop shots, you want to keep the face open, and so you lay the face open, and the way to keep it open is to keep the flexion in your wrist angle, your left wrist angle there, so you essentially cup your wrists in the backswing, so you've got this motion, as opposed to the Dustin Johnson, bowed left wrist. You really want to cup them and hold and maintain that angle, so you can hit these flop shots. And I think my swing, because I've hit so many flop shots, my wrist angles naturally sit more cupped in my swing, and I'm always fighting to try and get them more bowed. So just be careful. If you over practice a move, your body does get quite good at it. Ian, no worries, mate. Yeah, I like to try and move these around a little bit, because I know the time, Australia is like, it's such a bad time zone for everybody. I'm trying to organize some videos with some people overseas, and it's just a nightmare. Like Australia really is like just out of sequence with the rest of the world. But yeah, it was tough this morning. We've got both our kids are sick at the moment, and so it was a rough night. And so this morning it was tough getting up. Like it was tough getting up for the 5th time. But yeah, so I got the coffee today. All right, so Derek's saying he's upgraded from the Mevo Plus to the Bushnell Launch Pro. That'd be a massive upgrade. Like, I mean, look, Bushnell Launch Pro outside, it'd be fantastic if you're using premium golf balls, which I don't know if you're using Pro Vs on the driving range. Now I need to dial in the new unit. First thing, wedge matrix. Absolutely. Just go through wedge matrix, bag map, and then honestly just practice putting, Derek. Those, yeah, the Bushnell Launch Pro indoors compared to the Mevo Plus, night and day. You will really, really enjoy, even with chipping, you can just hit, you know, those chip shots that go like a few inches in your sim room and it'll register. The one thing you got to be careful of, Derek, is if you're moving your ball on your hitting mat. So if you have a ball there in your hitting mat, and if you go to try and move that to another location, you can sometimes activate it and it'll count it as a shot. That's the only thing you got to be careful of. What I do is when I'm using the Pro Tee, I'll block it from the cameras just for a little bit and then I'll move it. Or if I'm using a side mounted launch monitor, I'll block it with my club so that the launch monitor loses it and then I'll move it around. So that's the only thing you got to be careful of when you go to a photometric based unit. Phil is in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Yeah, let's get into this then. Let's start talking. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. GS Pro, obviously the platform that we all love. Like I love GS Pro. I've used GS Pro in my sim room for pretty much since I got my sim. And when I was planning my simulator, I had the intent of getting GS Pro. Incredible software, amazing what the guys have done. GS Pro is still very young as well. It's not an old software. It's only really just come out. Born from Jack Nicklaus Perfect Golf, you know, before I had a simulator, born from that group of guys who played that. Jack Nicklaus Perfect Golf got bought by TrackMan and it got absorbed by TrackMan, and TrackMan used a lot of their, you know, physics and a lot of their assets, I guess, from that software, and they've put it into their new software. And so from that, GS Pro was born by a group of guys, incredible software, and they've basically made it to be, you know, a software that is run by the community. Courses are built by the community. They've given people the tools to build the courses, so the courses are built by the community. We've got SGT, the Simulator Golf Tour. It's, you know, run by a few guys, but it's very community based. It's community field. And so amazing software. I love it. It is my favorite software. The end. I will always use GS Pro. It's incredible for the price, etc. We all know that. However, as it's developed, it's kind of, it was born like that. But software and everything develops and everything kind of, you know, it evolves, I guess. And it's evolved to the point now where GS Pro has employed a designer and they've actually started doing officially licensed courses. And so there's a shift now where GS Pro is, yes, it's still got its roots and it's still got those core designers, but it's definitely shifted and it's definitely evolving and growing into something that I think even the guys who started GS Pro didn't think it would become. And look, I can't speak for them, but I've got to imagine that those guys thought it would be a community, you know, software. GS Pro has exploded. Like, it has exploded. It is now known as the best golf simulation software. The end. There's no question. But what we've seen is we've seen those core designers that started with GS Pro. They all have Patreon servers, essentially. So you've got your GS Pro server with all the golf courses that encompasses, like, say, 90% of the golf courses. And then you've got a few different individual servers from those core designers at the start. And there's a handful of them. There's Run Pudrin, Pac-Man, there's the Golf Boy. There is, who else is there? Help me out, people. Tech Bud, and I think there's another one. I can't remember. But you've got those core designers who have these Patreons, who are allowed to have Patreons and have a core server that can feed into GS Pro. So that's how those guys are kind of, you know, that's how they're supplemented, or that's how they are paid, I guess, for their work. They're allowed to have these private servers. Now, since that, you've had a bunch of new designers pop up who are incredible that don't really have a way of getting compensated for their work. And I'm going to start talking about a few names individually, but you've had, say, you know, the Great Bangini popped up. Incredible designer. Very quickly became one of the best, you know, if not arguably the best on GS Pro. We know CE Sim Golf, Chris is incredible at his work. You know, he's a professional. But you've had people pop up. So the Great Bangini popped up, made these incredible courses for GS Pro, and then kind of was, and look, I can't speak for Matt as well, but you've got to think these designers would get to the top and they'd be going, well, hang on a minute. How come they're allowed a private server, but I'm making golf courses that look better than them and I'm not allowed a private server? And ultimately it leads to those designers, and this is just me again, just I'm not trying not to speak on their behalf, but this is my thoughts on it. They'd get to that point and they'd go, I'm not getting compensated for this. I'm putting in, 50 plus hours a week to build these amazing courses, not getting compensated. Ultimately, that's going to lead to them getting very, disenfranchised. Indy Scott, another one, disenfranchised and very, feeling like they're not valued, I guess. And then those designers ultimately, get an offer from TrackMan to say, hey, we'll pay you, however much, 100 grand or whatever to design courses for TrackMan. And ultimately, it's a pretty easy decision for them because they don't feel supported, with the current software that they're designing for. And so they move on, get with another, software company and feel valued. So that's kind of where my comment was on the Joe Lagowski Facebook group. And it kind of got taken out of hand by a few people saying I was trying to be, over dramatic, saying GS Pro's got a massive problem. Well, it's social media. So, read those titles and things with a grain of salt. Do they have a massive problem? No. But do they have a problem, and do they have an issue where they're going to lose a lot of designers? Potentially. We've already seen, like I said, the Great Bangini, incredible courses, gets to the peak, doesn't feel valued, gets an offer from another company and goes, yeah, sure, why not? We've now seen Greg McDonald, who, it pains me because you guys know I love a Greg McDonald course. It's when you go on GS Pro, when I play courses now, I search by course designers and I just go, C Sim Golf, Greg McDonald, Judd, Run Pudrin. I've got BLRK. I've got, who's the other one, the new one that's just come up that's made those incredible courses? Let me go into some courses real quick. Jay Pruitt, he's another one. Is it Kenny? I think Kenny's just got my eye as well. I don't know what his name is on. Yeah, Kenny Powers. He's just got my eye as well. So there's a few names. C-Drum, he's a really good one. So there's a few designers who I search by. And when you see one of those designers, stop building for GS Pro, that hurts me because I'm like, I'm not going to see these amazing courses, these amazing pieces of art that look incredible on GS Pro anymore. And so, yeah, I guess, does GS Pro have a problem? I'm going to say I think they do have a little bit of a problem because ultimately what they're going to get, and I know it's a community software and the price is what it is at because, these people are building the courses for free. But when someone's putting in 50 plus hours a week, that's where potentially could GS Pro do something for these designers to make them feel valued? I don't know. And I don't know what they do for them, to be honest, because I'm playing golf in my sim like you guys, and maybe they are reaching out to these designers and talking to them behind the scenes. I don't know, but I just, as a consumer, as a user, when we lose our arguably best designer, that hurts. That definitely hurts. Would you see the Simulator Golf Tour leaving GS Pro? No, Derek, no way. So the SGT, the Simulator Golf Tour, is there's a core group of people who created GS Pro. And look, I don't know all of them because, let's be honest, it's kind of like it's a closed door. It's kind of like the iron, what's it called? The iron gate that you just can't see behind. And there's a core group of people that created GS Pro. I have a few names. I know a few names of that core group of people, but I think that the SGT was born from that core group of people that built GS Pro. So, yeah, it's kind of like the Iron Veil, and they just do their thing, and that's that's totally, they don't need to make themselves known to the community. That's just what they do, and it's how it's run. Phil saying, yeah. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. G'day, Dennis. With so many courses available with GS Pro, it waters down the value of new courses being made. I'd say, Phil, this is the thing, is yes, GS Pro has like thousands of courses now. Like I'll go to my local match. I've got 2,584 courses installed. I need to download one apparently. I'll refresh that one. So a lot of courses. Now, out of those courses, how many do I play? Well, I play the SGT courses. And then apart from that, look, I may be playing, let's be honest, I could, like I said, I'm going to sort by designer. I'm playing maybe, say 100 of those courses. There's a lot of courses on GS Pro, and there's a lot of courses built by designers that just wanted their home course built, so they'll just build it. I'm not playing those, let's be honest. I may be playing, throw out, say 500 of the courses out of the 2,500. So yes, there's a lot of courses, but it's good to see new courses come to GS Pro, and I love seeing now the UK courses have been built as well by a handful of people like Neil and Gary. That's amazing. I'll definitely play those, but there's a lot of courses on GS Pro that I think a lot of people won't play unless, you know, it's your home course, it's your local course. But yeah, that's my thoughts. It hurts seeing designers leave the platform because, you know, we love this platform and we want it to have the best courses. And when you see one of your best designers leave, you know, it hurts. Oh, I did not see that, Ian. That is really interesting. So Pro-T having LiDAR and course layouts for 30,000 plus courses to allow people to build their new. That is really interesting. So what I will say about Pro-T is I know that they're building this new software with the intent of having people build their courses and also having it across multiple launch monitors. So not just for the Pro-T, they're going to have this open to anybody. So it's really interesting. Potentially they've got something like, you know, your Garmin Home T Hero or Rapsodo where the software will auto-generate courses. I don't know. But I've seen a few screenshots. The software itself, I mean, look, it looks okay. I think the lighting looks really good, but yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see what it looks like. Let's put it that way. But I'll definitely be showing it off. I think for me, 2026 is going to be the year of the software. 2026 is you're going to see a lot of these softwares pop up. We've already seen Infinite T's. We've got Pro-T developing their golf course software. What are the other ones? I think there's going to be 3 to 4 softwares that pop up. They'll all try and develop them. Ultimately, they're going to drop off. The ones that people aren't using are going to drop off. It's going to be, can these softwares, can they invest in them? Can they get the right people? That's the thing. It's getting the right people. We're possibly going to see GS Pro designers with these new softwares pop up. We're possibly going to see these top designers get poached. I think there will be a few designers leaving. And that's just because, you know, like I said, they're going to see I'm spending 50 hours for relatively, you know, not really anything apart from your own personal pride. And then if a company goes, hey, if Pro-T says, hey, Kenny Powers, hey, you know, BLRK, hey, Judd, come over to our software. We'll pay you 100 grand and you can build golf courses and just do 50 hours a week. I think we're going to see a few designers leave GS Pro. Any tips for good UK courses? So Neil is smashing out the UK courses and it's amazing to see. In the league this week, actually, we're playing one of the courses that he built, Elsham. He's been smashing out the courses. So yeah, just look up Neil. What does he go by on GS Pro? I think it might just be, Neil McLaughlin. Yeah, it is. Yeah, just look up Neil McLaughlin on GS Pro. He's been smashing out the UK courses. Like he's really been killing it at the moment. And he's come a long way. He's actually doing course builds as well. So if you want a course built on GS Pro, reach out to Neil. I'll try and link his details when this video ends in the description. But yeah, other UK courses, if you search up POB16, and then if you go down to Prestwick, that was the one that the league was held at last year. So look up Prestwick Golf Club. That is an incredible course. Amazing. He did an amazing job at that one. What else have we got? Royal St. David's. Check out Royal St. David's, Prestwick. These are all by POB16. What else have we got? He's done a few. Definitely look up POB16. And there you go, Portal Premier as well. But yeah, that's my little rant on the designers. I know that caused a bit of debate in the Facebook group. So, yep, 2026, the year of the software. I'm calling it now. We'll see a few designers go, I think, which will be sad because, you know, we play GS Pro and we want to have the best designers. Okay. Let's talk. Oh, by the way, that is not me having a go at the other designers on GS Pro. I think anyone that makes a course on GS Pro does an amazing job, and I couldn't do it. So yeah, anyone that makes a course on GS Pro, we really appreciate you, because we just get to go on our sim, hit local match, download all these new courses and play. So I really appreciate all the designers on GS Pro. But yeah, those top ones, they're the ones that help those young designers as well. So, right, let's talk about the Joe Lagowski Golf League. It is nearing its end. We have 4 more events, including this week, and then it's done. The season is done. So the season-long race, which has been going for the whole year, it's followed the DP World Tour schedule with a few other events that I had to chuck in just to fill the schedule. It is nearing an end. The winner of the season-long race, the net, is going to get a course built on GS Pro by Scott. So, I mean, look, to get a course built, I don't know the exact price, but you're looking at a few $1,000s. So it's a massive prize. If you compare it to what you get if you win SGT rankings, I've got a towel back there somewhere. I think it's on my golf bag, but you get a towel. You're getting a course built on GS Pro. So definitely jump on and check out the league if you haven't. We also have a few other prizes. I'm going to pull up the rankings now and I'll talk through this. So if we go to leagues, I'll pull this up. Okay, let me get the comments on. Right. Joe Lagowski Golf League. So this week we are playing at Elsham Golf Club. I'll show that real quick just because I had a good round. There you go. Leading the charge. But let's go back. Let's go to the standings because this is what matters. And we'll go over to the net standings. So right now, I'll move down so you guys can see it. CC Wilco is leading the charge. He's played every single event, and so has JT Walsh. CC's had 2 wins, and he's got a tiny lead over JT Walsh. But you can see those two, due to the events they've played, really, I mean, they're in the lead by quite some margin. The winner of this is going to get the course built by Scott, which I cannot thank Scott enough for, you know, supporting the Joe Lagowski Golf League and also the channel. That's the grand prize. What else do we have though? We've got nearest the pins. We've got 4 par 3s. There's a course being built right now by Scott that is going to host the final event. So get excited, brand new course on GS Pro. I do have some sponsors. First off, we've got K2 Golf Tees. So Kevin has agreed to sponsor a par 3 again. So there's going to be a nearest the pin on one of the par 3s sponsored by K2 Golf. Those are the tees I use, so I'll pull them up now. I'll show you the tees. So Kevin has kindly said he's going to sponsor the event, and you're going to get a custom bag. So he's offered the winner, or the nearest the pin on the par 3 is going to get a custom bag, or they can choose one of the ones he already offers. And then you're also going to get a full set of tees. So you're going to get the tee number 1 through 8. I use the number 5 mostly. The 5 and 4 get a run, but you're going to get the full selection of tees, and it's valued, I can't remember the price. It's over 150 US dollars for the custom bag as well. So massive shout out to K2. They've been a long-time supporter of the channel, and I really appreciate it because those tees are amazing. And you don't have to chase them around your room, which is good. We've got, so K2 is going to do one of the par 3s. We've got Cascadia Designs, or Etienne Springbok. He has donated a brain box. So we've got a new look brain box. I'll show you this is the sim control box that I'm going to do a video over. So you're not going to get this start and stop. This box controls my whole simulator. So when I get into the room, all I have to do is push this start button, and it will start GS Pro, it'll start the Pro T software, it'll resize them correctly to the windows, it'll start two instances of OBS as well, because that's what I've told it to do. This thing's amazing. So the new look brain box looks very similar to this. You're just not going to have the stop button, I believe. It's only the start button. So new look brain box is going to be up for grabs. That's going to be another nearest the pin, so get excited. And then, so that's 2 of the par 3s taken care of. The next 2, I currently am looking for other sponsors of the next 2 par 3s, but if not, well, I think I'm going to sponsor one of the par 3s, and I'm going to offer like a merch pack. I've got a Yeti that I've got engraved, and also I've got some stickers and a ball marker. And then the final par 3 is still up for grabs. So I'm still looking for one more person, one more sponsor. If I don't get anyone, I will just sponsor the other par 3, and there'll be 2 merch packs that you can get. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing final event again. It's going to be set at a course in Scotland. It's the Race to Scotland. I'm not going to give it away just yet, but I'm excited for this course because I've wanted this course on GS Pro for so long now, and you're gonna love it. Trust me, it's an amazing course. So yeah, that's the Joe Lagowski Golf League. A massive shout out to Chris. He's leading the charge. So we could see potentially another Aussie course on GS Pro if he wins. We might have to do some funding to get LiDAR again, like we did last year when Blake won and we got the old course put up. So yeah, that's the league. Get excited. Definitely get signed up. If you're not signed up for the league, you've got to be an SGT Pro member, but that will get you access to the leagues. And then even if you haven't played any of the events, you can still have those nearest the pin opportunities. Oh, I forgot. One more sponsor that they're not going to do a par 3 because this is going to be an Australian only sponsor. There's going to be Bayside Golf. So Sam has offered up a $300 voucher. It's going to be an Australian only prize. I'm either going to do a lucky draw on the day. I might live stream my round. I'm either going to do a lucky draw on the day, so any Australian that's going to be there for the live, or I'm going to do potentially a, the net winner on the day or something. I'm going to come up with something for this Australian only prize, and it's going to be a $300 voucher for Bayside Golf. So that's huge. Massive shout out to Sam. He's been like the best channel partner I could ask for, Bayside Golf. So yeah, the league is going to be, the league is here to stay. The league is here to stay. Next year, it's going to get better. I'm going to separate the league down into the different swings. So like the DP World Tour has the different swings to it. I think there's 6 in the year. We're going to have the overall winner, but then we're also going to have prizes for each individual swing. So it's going to be good fun. A bit more work for me because I'm going to have to keep spreadsheets and points for each individual swing to then add them up at the end. But hey, it is what it is. Okay. Next up, V-Track. The V-Track has really, I mean, it's come out, the V-Track. It is incredible for what it is. You're getting, let's be honest, I mean, the Pro T RLX, this thing was meant to be released as years ago. It is essentially a Pro T for $3,000 less. The cameras inside of it are a little bit better quality than the actual Pro T's cameras. Does that make a difference? I don't really think so. But it's essentially got the same kind of software that the Pro T has. It's going to give you all of your ball metrics. It has to see some sort of logo or some sort of marking on the golf ball. Very similar to a Pro T though. It's going to give you stickerless club data. Now, the stickerless club data, I'm going to get into it. It's not as advanced as the Pro Ts. So it only measures certain metrics and then it calculates others. So it's not identical. I'll get into all of that when I do my video comparing them. But the V-Track as a company, they are an AI company, the company that makes the V-Track. And so what they've announced for the PGA show, and I put up pictures on my Instagram, they are going to be bringing AI swing coaching, but they're also going to be bringing like these balance insoles for your shoes. And so you're going to get essentially, like we see with the Unicore ecosystem, how they have your swing coaching through the cameras, but then they also have the balance plate. What V-Track has going to, or Loan Swingcraft is going to be doing is they've got the swing cameras. They also have, I'm going to try and show this off. It's going to probably, I should have maybe got a picture for the chat, but they're going to be doing swing balance through these insoles. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how this goes. And look, I'm going to be fighting to try and get this. I'm really going to try and get this so I can show it off. But you're going to get essentially a weight shift analyzer, they're calling it. It's going to give you your static balance analysis. It's going to give you your center of pressure, and it's also giving you your foot pressure change analysis. So it's going to show you a live feed of where your pressure is in your feet, which is going to be super interesting because I know my weight is very much on my toes. But yeah, incredible what they're going to bring to this unit, and the software itself that they're using. I mean, I'll try and show it off there. The software they're using does look fantastic. So yeah, going to be really interesting to see. And thankfully, I will be at the PGA show to show it all off. I will be documenting this live from the PGA show. So I'll have a video with them showing it all off. So it's going to be super exciting. Stu is saying, Joe, you have the prettiest swing in sim golf, my man. Thank you. I really appreciate that. The swing is, yeah, it's coming along. Let's put it that way. I've been doing a few drills and I shared them in a member video. I'm going to do a follow-up member video, but I've been doing a few drills that really have helped me with my golf swing. I was getting very static. I was getting very positional focused, and I've just changed that completely. And I'm doing a lot of things where I'm putting my swing in motion, and I'm doing these drills that really encourage natural motion and weight shift. And it's just been amazing. Like really has been game changer for me. So I'll do some more member videos on that. And Dennis is saying, just curious, but how many GS Pro users would there be worldwide? That is a good question, Dennis. I mean, if you look at SGT, and that's by no means the indication of, numbers worldwide. But if we go into SGT, what tour should we go? Let's go like maybe the Auto Putt Tour. I mean, this is going to be no indication because I'm sure there's, we could probably go to world rankings, actually, to be honest. Let's go to world rankings and we'll just see if world rankings, though, it includes putting as well. So really, you can't use this as a metric. Let's go all the way down to the bottom. It says 1,346. Now, that's tied. So there's a lot of people tied at that. And there's a lot of people tied above that. So there's got to be, like, how many? There's over, I can't even put a number on it. There's got to be thousands. There's got to be thousands of users worldwide. Like, I don't know. I can't even begin to even estimate or comprehend how many users there'd be worldwide. But if there's, how do you put a number on it? I'd love to know, Dennis. It's an amazing question. Amazing question. If you've got like 10,000 users, all paying $250 US, 2.5 mil. So there's got to be a lot, hasn't there? That's a really good question. I'd love to know that, actually. Phil's saying, in-shoe measurement, single user only, hygiene issue. Yeah, Phil, I think these are going to be, because you can order, there's products like this on the market. This is not new. It's not new technology. I forget the name of the sole plates. There's been a couple recently, actually, but you can literally Google like balance soles. There's a few that do it. There's one recently I saw on, oh, what's his channel? He does a really good, Cody Walker, is it? Cody Walker, he did one with Alex Fitzpatrick, and it was sponsored by one of these companies that makes the shoe soles. I think it's Cody Walker Golf, isn't it? Cordy, Golfwell, that's him. He's got a really good channel as well, actually, by the way. He did one with Alex Fitzpatrick, and they were using these insoles in their shoes. I think this was it. Yeah, here we go. It was a paid promotion. Here we go, Tech Essentials. Where was it? Ballon pressure insoles. So there's, yeah, they are available. Pressure insoles. Here we go. See, it's not the first, and it's not going to be the last, I'm sure. So BAL.on, and it shows you all of your pressure throughout your swing. So it's not new technology, and you've got all your pressure points and things. Yeah, it's not new technology, but it's just interesting to see them take that approach versus doing a board like Unicore. Me personally, I'd rather have a board. Give me a board that I can put down if I want to use it. I can, permanently put it down. I don't have to mess around with insoles. For me personally, I'd like a board. But hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? They've potentially partnered with someone to get this technology. So, yeah, Derek, it is essentially, they're building that ecosystem. So they're building that ecosystem, which is amazing to see. Is it going to be as good as Unicores? I don't know, because I haven't used Unicores. But what I will say straight off the bat is I like how Unicore has a separate board as a balance plate. The other thing is cost. That's the other thing, because the V-Track is insanely priced for what you get for an on-ceiling overhead launch monitor. However, and it doesn't have subscriptions. If they introduce this with subscriptions, I think it's going to put a lot of people off. But hey, it's going to be interesting. I'd love to test it, obviously. I don't know what the price is going to be. I can imagine if they start going, hey, you need to use these cameras to make it work, that's again where people might go, hey, I'm paying, $2,000 when I can buy these cameras that I have, for instance, $130 on Amazon, Australian. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they approach it. And look, I'd love to test it out and I'd love to show it off. So fingers crossed we get that opportunity. Rod saying, I have Nova Open Launch. When we use it, GS Pro, we can't use Nova Launch Connector. It won't connect. We have to use the Open API connector. So I haven't tried the official connector rod, but what the guys have said is they said use the open API. They are they're going to have an official connector. I don't know if it's working yet. I don't think it is. So use the open API connector for now, and then in the future it will connect officially, which is really good. I still am waiting. Look, I want to put out an update video on Nova. I'm still seeing spin axis inconsistencies. So I want to wait. I want to give the guys a chance to, implement the fixes, and then I'll do a video. But Nova, the actual hardware, the design of it, for me, it's amazing. It is just so outside the box. It solves so many issues. So once they get that spin axis sorted, it is going to be unreal, and I cannot wait to show it off. They've implemented a few things as well. They've got swipe to unlock the touch bar. They've done a few really cool things that I can't wait to show off. Yeah, Rod's saying we're getting a lot of misreads. So Rod, for me, I've sent a lot of data to the guys. For me, it's a fade bias for me. It's just fade bias. Hopefully the guys look, I know they're working hard and they're a small team. And what you got to remember is these guys have developed this product to be, first and foremost, ease of use. They want it to be the easiest thing to use. Just put it down, connect it up, and just start hitting shots. Massive tick in the box. But for me, the accuracy needs to be there, and I'm sure they're working on it. Fingers crossed, very soon we'll have an update that brings, really good accuracy, really good spin axis to the unit. Once that happens, it's going to be massive recommendations, just because of the actual footprint of it is so unique. It solves so many problems for left and right-handed golfers that want to use a cheap photometric base unit instead of paying, X amount, like $8,000 to get a V-Track, $9,000 to get a V-Track. You can now get this for $1,500 US. So, but the accuracy for me needs to be there. And I know they're working on it. I know they are. I've spoken to Taylor. So, yeah. If you are getting misreads, Rod, definitely let the guys know in the Discord. They are 100% transparent in the Discord, and they are like really nice guys. They'll, definitely let them know. But I know that they know. They've been doing testing themselves. Since I sent them all my data, they've got a GC quad and they're doing testing themselves, and they've also seen some discrepancies. So I know they're working hard. Chad is working hard on the algorithm. So hopefully soon it's kicking goals, and then it'll be like, hey, you'll see a million videos from me showing the Nova off. Yeah, that is pretty much it for today's episode, guys. Unless anyone has any questions, I'll hang around for a bit. Phil, PGA show update. Yes, it's a massive flight. My first flight is 14 hours. So I got a 14-hour flight, and then a 4-hour flight, I think it is. Going to the PGA show is going to be amazing. But what it's going to be for me is I will literally change cycles 12 hours. So it'll be when it's daytime, when I'm meant to be filming and being at the PGA show, being energetic, that will be midnight for me. So it's going to be a complete flip for 4 days, I think. 4 or 5 days, I think I'm at the PGA show. So if you see me there, come up to me and say hi, but just know that I will be very tired. So if I'm not, 100%, I'm sure the energy levels will be there because I'll be excited, but I might be a little bit flat and I might be yawning. When I'm talking to you, I might be yawning. That's not me being disinterested. That's because I've done a complete 12-hour change. Most underwhelming product. Phil, I just go, why? Skytrack, why? Honestly, like, does a USB port and a software update to add club speed training, does that warrant a whole new product? I'm sorry. And I know I get a lot of flack for hating on Skytrack. For a unit to come out in 2025 where you have to hit from a little laser dot, that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. I'm sorry, it's unacceptable. You need to update the hardware in the unit. You need to add multiple cameras and stack them on top of each other, or do something like Nova to give a hitting area. In 2025, it is ridiculous for a product to have limitations like Skytrack does. Phil, you knew exactly what you were doing there. And look, fish on. I'm hooked. You got me. Ian's saying, what are the main things you'll be looking at the PGA show? What are you excited about? So Ian, when I get there, I need to remind myself I'll be representing Bayside Golf. I will have a job to do, and I'm going to be talking to all of the Bayside partners, all of the suppliers for Bayside. I'll be networking, so I'm obviously going to go check out the Pro T booth. I'm going to be checking out V-Track. I'm going to be checking out Foresight, Rapsodo. I've already, Justin from Rapsodo's contacted me, which is amazing. I cannot wait to meet him in person. So I'll be checking out all of the, channel, not only the Bayside people, but I've been talking to them as well. So I'm going to meet all these people in person, which is going to be amazing. So I'm going to be networking, talking to these guys, and filming as well. So I'll be filming it all. I'll be hopefully doing like interview style videos with all of the, booths, all of the people that I go to. So yeah, it'll be a busy time. It'll be a really busy time. But anyone at the PGA show that recognizes me, definitely come up and say hi. Because yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot of people there, I'm sure, and it'll be chaos. I've already started thinking about how I'm going to film it, and audio is going to be the massive issue because there's going to be so much noise in there. So it's just going to be really interesting. It will be self-hosted, so it'll be me. It'll be me, and I've been thinking about taking my main camera, but I'm probably just going to take this with my little Apple mount, and I'll probably just do that. And that will be how I actually film stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it'll just be iPhone, lots of battery packs, because my main camera that I use in my studio, it will just add a whole nother element to the thing. The easiest way to do it for me is just a phone. But I'll potentially take my main camera. I'll have to get some batteries. I'll have to get like a lot of batteries. But yeah, I can see that being a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. But I think the easiest way to do it is going to be just a phone, and just and the quality on these phones now is so good that I think it'll be fine. So yeah, that'll be the PGA show. It'll be exciting. It'll be probably 4 or 5 days with little to no sleep, and a lot of walking, but it'd be amazing to meet everybody that, I've met through this channel. So all of the different companies I've talked to, I've emailed. I want to go see Unicor as well. Element guys, so I've spoken to Brett. I think they want to be there. They're not going to have a booth, but I think they want to be there. So yeah, I'll be hopefully catching up with those guys. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. I wonder if, I don't know if the Nova guys are going to be there, actually. I've got to check in with those guys and see if they're going to be there. But yeah, lots of networking. Lots and lots of networking. Let's touch on, real quick, let's touch on FlightScope, because I'm going to try and catch up with the FlightScope people at the PGA show. Now, I got a lot of flack for my video on the FlightScope Mevo Gen 2, my first impressions. I've got to do some more filming with it. I want to do a putting video. As you guys know, my environment, and you can see on the my mat just there, just on your screen, you can see it's not perfectly level. So I haven't got the most optimal setup for the FlightScope Mevo Gen 2 in terms of putting. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to film it, but I'll be putting off to the side. So I'll have like a perfectly level surface. FlightScope indoors, I have seen quite a few misreads, and I've done a bit of testing, sorry, and played with it outside of the videos I do. I think a lot of people think I get these devices, set them up, film a video, and then that's it. I did quite a lot of testing off camera. So with the FlightScope Mevo Gen 2, I've seen quite a few errors with spin axis. Now, it's a radar-based unit in an indoor environment, so there are a lot of things that can interfere with it. Am I seeing interference in my environment? Possibly. But what I got to say is that this environment is about as clean as you're going to get. So if there's issues in my environment, like I've even gone to the extent of putting a Faraday cage on my projector. So if you're seeing errors in this environment, I'm going to say, unless you have like a perfect golf simulator, an environment, I mean, this is as close to as perfect as you're going to get. So if you're seeing issues in this environment, you're going to see issues in your environment. I have seen some errors with spin axis. And like I said, with RCT golf balls, they are not going to help with spin axis. With gear effect and everything that happens when you hit off center on the face, radar-based units in an indoor environment really struggle to correctly assess ball flight or spin axis due to gear effect. Even the TrackMan 4. The TrackMan 4 in an indoor environment is not amazing at getting gear effect, spin axis when you hit off center. The way TrackMan does it, just like the way Mevo does it, Mevo call it their fusion tracking. TrackMan will assess where on the club face, looking from behind, where on the club face you've actually made contact with the club, and then they will add an algorithm to incorporate a bit of gear effect. It's not perfect. It is not perfect, and with the Mevo Gen 2, it is not perfect. So I will be doing a full review on the Mevo Gen 2 and giving my thoughts on the unit. It will be coming soon, but just know that I have been seeing quite a lot of errors with spin axis and the putting. I know people are going to, I got slayed. People are like, your environment's not good enough to do putting. I have done putting with this outside of my room on a perfectly flat surface. Putting is not perfect, and the putting speeds are not correct. That's my thoughts. Okay, here we go. We have Spectrum Golf Technologies, or Brett. This might be Brett or Mike, I'm not sure. But most likely Brett in the chat saying, Joe, your driver angle of attack wasn't completely wrong. We're essentially calculating angle of attack from the horizontal as a magnitude, so a positive and negative AOA would both report the same number. Brett, I said this to you. Brett, I said to you, if this was a positive number, I would believe it. I remember saying that to you because I know my angle of attack can get quite up. And I remember saying, if it was a positive number, I would actually believe it. So there you go. Phil saying, still no pro license for the Gen 2. Yeah, Phil, they've got to be, yeah. FlightScope generally release the product, they'll get it out there, and then a year later, maybe they might even do it at the PGA show. A year later, generally, they go, hey, here's the pro package. You can pay another 1,500 bucks or whatever it is to get the pro package. I can definitely see the Mevo Gen 2 doing that because they have to be measuring certain club parameters to give you an estimated spin axis. They have to. They have to be measuring certain club parameters to be able to give you spin axis. That's the only way they can do it. So, yeah, they have to be doing it. behind the scenes. And so, hey, in a year's time, once they've refined it, they'll unlock it and go, there's the pro package. That's the only way for radar-based units indoors. They've got to be doing estimated or measured club data. Some metrics are going to be estimated or calculated, and then based on those metrics, that's what your ball flight's going to be. So they're doing it behind the scenes. So yeah, that's interesting. Driver angle of attack. I knew that. I said that, Brett. That's good. That's good to know. That is really good to know. Phil's saying do a pop-up stall outside the venue. I reckon if the guys are there, we will definitely set up somewhere and do an interview. 100%. If the guys are there, that'll be epic. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's episode, guys. If you've got any questions, get them in now. Otherwise, that'll be it for today. It's going to be such a busy time at the PGA show, but it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. All right. That is going to be it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, let me know. As always, if you can, like this video, share the channel. I'm on the race to 20,000 subs. If we could get 20,000 subs by December, and that's going to be tough because it's November, we need to really make a big push. If you've got people, if you've got friends, put them onto the channel. I really want to do a big push. I want to get to that 20,000 number. That'd be amazing. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please sub to the channel, share the channel. I really want to get that 20,000 number. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.